Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Record, a special Project Offbeat series specifically catered for casual conversations with our guests. We do this so we can get to know the lives and the people beyond their careers, the humans behind the job. Expect pressing talk of the town questions and fun challenges. If you haven't listened to the episode on Dhang Tecson's path, we highly suggest you to start there first. In today's segment, we are joined by social entrepreneur and sustainability advocate, Dhang Tecson. Hi, Dang.
Hi, Lance. Hi, Matthew.
Hello.
Okay, so let's start with the off the record with the usual patok na segment sa mga audience namin, no? The big questions segment, right? And this is presented by our sponsor, Narrowwood and Watches. Maraming salamat for supporting us with this segment. Let's roll. Ready na kami sa big questions namin sa'yo, Dang. Are you ready, Dang?
Yeah.
All right. Sige. Dang, first question, no? May lumapit sa'yo isang kumpanya. Sabi niya, Dang, bibigyan ko ng trabaho lahat ng partner fisherman mo sa Balangay's Best. Pero yung kumpanya na yun pala ay Coke. Isa sa mga pinakamalaking contributor ng plastic. Would you take it or not?
I think I will take it. Actually, I'm working with Coke right
Oh,
now.
wow. Coke, maraming salamat for allowing Dang to be with us, no?
It's not about, siguro ito rin yung natutunan ko sa GK na it's not about because they're doing something wrong, you block them already. So parang pati rin naman sa plastic bag. So parang if we are the one who could help them correct their mistakes or the problem that they're creating, why not? Diba?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Hopeful slant, no? That's a hopeful slant. And even if it's an uphill climb, you would do it? Even if, grabe.
I will explore siguro how to make it work. And I think we've done that in Gawad Kalinga back then. We partner with different people, and I think kasi in the Philippines parang if you partner with a group that is doing something bad, something like that, parang people would brand you negatively na
cancel culture.
Cancel culture. Yeah. So we just need to be parang we focus on the goal just to figure out if meron ba ring potential talaga or there's a possibility that we could really inspire them to change the negative thing that they're doing. So I think it would be a good opportunity to explore.
Yeah, naisip ko lang parang sana lahat ng government officials na sumama sa Marcos administration would have that mentality like yours. Na parang, di naman agad natin to dapat i-cancel. We can perhaps, morph them, right? We can perhaps help them achieve, better governance, no?
On your experience as a social entrepreneur, you mentioned stuff about creating these models for these communities, the systems that you're trying to build for these social enterprises. Have you ever encountered siguro opposition or from people or maybe businesses that have vested interest in a certain community, or maybe it's the people themselves, they're not open to the changes that you're proposing or whatnot?
Yeah. Siguro the good thing with what we are doing, I think ito yung natutunan ko din when I was starting as a entrepreneur, is to always do dialogue. So that both of all of the possible stakeholders would really a grounding, it's like a middle ground to really understand each other. So for us siguro yes, we would encounter that, but I think it usually happen if there's a misunderstanding or if there's a misalignment with a certain situation. That's why for me, communication, medyo pet peeve ko yung communication talaga ever since. So parang if we're implementing policy, we need to explain why we need to do this. So something like that. We cannot just do this, change this, and let them without even understanding. So parang for me, to get anyone's ownership or buy-in, we have to communicate the why or the reason behind for this, or for them to really understand it so that they themselves can even contribute to be part of that solution. And I think normal lang yun. Yung kung may
Mm.
mag-negative, I don't see it negative or for us. Because the more our ideas are being challenged, I think the more that we would think better
Oo.
and come
Oo.
up with better ideas.
Parang
So,
you know that you're off to somewhere kasi may nagcha-challenge sa'yo.
yes.
No? Parang you're not
Yeah.
just like nobody. Like
Yeah.
they're taking
And
notice.
because they are speaking up, I think I love it more because I would get their ideas so that I could tweak the process or system that we would establish to fit in or to really make it work.
Next question, Dang. I actually came from a company, Meralco, no, na before I was here in Paymaya. And actually Meralco is this huge company. Of course, our electric provider, diba? Pero one of the biggest criticisms against them is the usage of coal, right, as the source of their energy, diba? And syempre, ang daming environmentalists na talagang they're crucifying them for it, no? And I guess I want to parang pattern that to ask you, what's your take on, the companies priding themselves on having sustainability embedded in their core system, no? Mga CSRs nila, 'di ba? And then you see their operations still highly rooted on these practices na we could deem as destructive to the world, no? What do you say about those matters?
Oh, for me, I wanted to understand bigger picture first, like total picture of their operations, because there might be some things that we don't understand. Because like when I was studying sustainability and how you would apply it in an entire company, actually there's no concrete standard. Like there's no minimum standard that you have to practice because
Talaga.
it's up to you how to set up
Right.
parameters that is achievable for you based on your parameters. So for me, it depends on which claim do they have. So that's where I would, like for example, for us in Plastic Bank, we have a claim that we are collecting ocean-bound plastic. So
Correct.
lahat ng papunta. So lahat dapat ng tao na maniningil sa amin or magki-question should see review us based on the claim that we have. Gets niyo ba ako?
Yeah.
So kasi parang sustainability is very big word kasi. So we need to really check out which are the specific KPIs that they're
Yun.
committing
Yeah.
for
That's exactly.
sustainability. So parang for me, because I also encountered that, meron talaga mga hardcore environmentalists na
Yeah.
single-minded lang talaga. I encountered that
Yeah.
when I was like in my early stage of my sustainability work, and people like, no. When for example, plastic. So they don't they were saying, no, you're still promoting recycling because of what
Oh,
you're doing in
nag-order ka sa
plastic
Lazada,
bank,
'di
something
ba?
like that, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung ginagawa namin na recycling is still promoting people to use plastic. So I was like, I did study, not just to combat them, but for me to have proper knowledge with the industry. So I understand, and based on that study, there's three ways for us to really stop the plastic pollution in the entire world. First, the retrieval of existing. Second, removal of usage of plastic. But it would take some time because a lot of
Sobra.
critical, like for example, this is even some of the conversations, like uncomfortable conversations that I usually have with mayors and LGU,
Grabe.
like heads, like they were like saying, "Oh, we're proud. We have an ordinance, zero waste, blah blah blah." And I was like asking them, "Mayor, kung tanggalin niyo yung plastic, paano po yung mga lower income natin? Kasi 'di ba nag-a-avail sila ng mga
Sari-sari.
basic,
Oo nga, no?
yung mga
Oo nga,
basic
no?
needs nila with the sachet. And in
Yeah.
terms of logistic, we have a bigger challenge in the Philippines with logistic. That's
Exactly.
why some of it are sachets, 'di ba? So ang
Exactly.
hirap. And because I came from different parts of the Philippines, I know the challenge because even me, nagtatapload ako ng jeep before para lang makapunta sa isang community or kung ano-anong kinds ng transportation na experience ko. So I think that is the very important one. Before we stop something, we should have a concrete plan
Yeah.
and an effective plan or program as an alternative for that existing thing that we wanted to remove.
Yep.
So for me, it's not just automatic, let's remove. but it's a process. Do they have resources to make it happen? It's because it requires behavior change, right? So I think it's not about, we have to see it in totality also, or holistically, so that we would also help the people to really change behavior and to practice sustainability. So there. I think the third one is recycling. So they said recycling. So if we combine these three, and the biggest problem is retrieval, which is one of the three solutions. So for me, doon ko na-realize, okay, alam ko hindi kami yung solution. That's why whenever I joined forums, I've been very upfront. We know we're not the only solution, but we wanted to play our role to be
Yeah.
part of the solution.
That's the
And that's one of
mentality.
the strategy, di ba?
Yeah.
So
Uh-uh.
parang for me, I would look at it that way in all things. And even in plastic, we are even helping companies how to transition to recycling. And it's very expensive
Ganda.
investment. That's
Yeah.
why I don't want to pressure one person to do something if they don't have enough. But it's good that we're pressuring this companies, but I'm keen, or at least I'm also excited that soon we'll be having a law to tackle this
Yeah.
fully also, yung extended producers responsibility. So for other countries, it's been existing. So kaya yung mga bagay na yun, mas madaling ma-implement kasi everything has
Ganda.
a tax,
Mm-mm.
there's a proper infrastructure and resources. So madali for them i-implement. But for cases like Meralco, as much as I wanted to comment, I wanted to study first what is their operation, what
Yeah.
were their commitment, and from there, that's where I would like ask, oh, I think you have some lapse with your claims, and I think you need to improve it because
Yeah.
it's not authentic and it's not
Ganda.
even realistic. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan, for that.
Actually, we had a talk with one of our guests before, a vegan food blogger. Basically, one of the discussions we talked about was there's no perfect vegan, but you make the most of what you have. So in the same vein, no, there's sometimes no perfect way to be 100% sustainable, 100% eco-friendly, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings me to the next question. No, obviously, I think a lot of us care about the environment or are doing things to work towards that, whether it be recycling, using less plastic, using yung mga metal straws, etc. But at the end of the day, it's a known fact that the biggest contributors of plastic waste and pollution in the world are those big corporations, no? So, I guess kahit ano pa yung gawin nating, I guess, sustainable livelihood or sustainable way of life, it's very easy to feel overwhelmed because whatever you do, it might not actually make a difference in versus all of these big contributors. Is there something you can share to our audience, note, just as a encouragement or as a tip to continue what they're doing and to, even if sustainability is more expensive or it's harder to find, is there any encouragement that you can share with them to continue going for that lifestyle?
I think the messaging should be, it's not a hopeless case. I think all of the problems is not. I think the problem, like for example, in plastic, it's not a hopeless case. So pardon, I think the awareness should focus on, yes, there are, like for example, every minute there's one truck of garbage that goes into the ocean. So that's sort of like the statistics now. But for me, I feel that it shouldn't be put too negative in a way that people would see, hopeless na. But we are communicating this in a way that people would be aware of the situation, and there's still ways on how to fix it, and we can fix it in our small little actions, because you might see it small, but if all of the people, like 100 million Filipinos, will do that, I think that would create a big impact to our environment. And it's never too late to start something to really to contribute in creating solution to a certain problem. It can be environment, it can be social, it can be economic, but because this simple step or small step would even create a bigger impact. Like for example, if 1% pa lang yung kailangan tapos nag-contribute ka. So it makes sense na mas mahalaga yung 1% mo because it complete a bigger goal or bigger solution, di ba? So parang for me, don't be hopeless and don't be distracted with things that you are hearing on ground. So the only thing that you could contribute is, I'm not saying to stay positive. It's okay to have negative emotions. Just feel it and let it go. I mean, experience it, endure it. After that, you can go back to yourself. I mean, it's the journey. It's not always perfect. It's like a rocky road or a roller coaster ride. And for me, I'm even telling some of my team who always tell me, "Oh, it's like always hard, and it seems like it's an endless hardship." And I was like telling them, I think you have just to see the silver linings on that. That maybe there's another opportunity why it's happening to your team. So parang I think that's one of the things that we could work on. But it's okay to be negative as well because those are normal
Yeah.
emotions that we have. But let not be carried away by this. Be more logical with things also. So let's try to be more objective also and to balance things. And I think because in the Philippines, that's our culture also, no? Na pag sinabi ng pamilya or sinabi ng kaibigan, naniniwala na tayo without validating. So even right now, it's very relevant in our country, the misinformation and fake news. Let's not just believe because someone said that, because everyone has a tendency to make mistakes. But let's always validate and let's make sure that we don't spread any misinformation uh, and um, and be take on our responsibility also.
Based on your background, I assume you've been to a lot of like coral reefs already, very many marine conservation sites, etc. Is there one that you can recommend to our audience? Top of mind.
Top of mind, hindi pa kasi ako nagda-dive, to tell you honestly. Kasi nung mag-start ako mag-dive, nag-pandemic. So,
Okay,
yun.
okay.
But, one of in terms of, I do like free dive and snorkeling, the best talaga Palawan. Like, the one that you're seeing in my background, you would see it there. Very untouched. But I think our responsibility, if we're going to this site, we know that parang let's not step on this coral, something like that. Let's have proper gears so that we are also protecting all of these things. Kasi madami actually in the world, I think we are considered diving diving site, like best diving site in the whole world because totoo naman. Philippines, hindi lang natin alam or most of the Filipinos just doesn't know that Philippines is considered the center of marine biodiversity in the world. So maraming yamang dagat na makikita sa Pilipinas na hindi makikita sa buong mundo. So I think yun yung isa sa kailangan nating i-promote and at pangalagaan. Kasi at sa atin to kaya kung mapapansin mo, marami talagang gustong i-conquer yung mga seas natin. It's because of that.
Yeah. Ayan na, Lance. Go, dive na. I'm inviting Lance to dive kasi, pero he has an issue.
The first one that you should is in Anilao because Anilao is part of Coral Triangle. So Coral Triangle is part of the marine richest biodiversity in the the richest region in terms of marine. So it can be found in Anilao and certain parts of Mindoro from what I believe. Then the second one is Bantayan, the Tanyon Strait. So yun. So marami talagang magandang i-explore in terms of marine or bodies of water in the Philippines.
So last question for off the record, Dang, and I think this could be the hardest question, no? So Dang, kailan next blog entry mo, no? Upon our checking, parang
my God.
yung last one was like December 2021, no? For our audience, please check out Dang's blog, no? The Wanderess Mermaid, no?
I have a secret that I would tell you guys. Before, I thought I was really bad with the writing. Like I don't
Oh.
have any talent with writing. But I'm good in public speaking actually because I've been doing that all my life. So and I have a lot of friends and they've been like encouraging me, "Hey, you have a lot of experiences. You should be the one
Exactly.
writing."
Yeah.
Right? And
Mm-mm.
they were like joking me, "If you don't know how to write, just write the things that you're talking about." So like I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And I will try my best to start reviving that. So maybe it's because also a reason, part of grieving because my dad passed away last year. Um, certain parts of my creativity stopped, maybe like painting and others. So I am just starting to revive, but hopefully, one of that I think the blogging is one of the things that I would revive within the year. But
Yun.
thank you for asking.
Mga ka-offbeat, we should ask Dang and keep her to her word, no? Na makikita natin yung blog entry niya by this year at the minimum. Okay, thank you everyone for listening to Off the Record. If you liked our special series, follow us as well on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube for exclusive content. If you want to learn more from our guests, you can reach down from email, FB, and LinkedIn. See you again, everyone, and have a great night. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.